Hi there, we're carrying on from the other night where we were talking about Jesus going to heaven to prepare a place for us, that where he is, we may be also. Um, and I was also explaining a little bit about the Jewish wedding feast and festival. Yes, so we talked about the betrothal process, and whenever the bridegroom pays the dowry or the bride price, which of course in our case Jesus paid the price on the cross for us. And then what that means is that they're formally actually married. Um, Now, just to show you how important this was, that they actually were formally married, if you remember, whenever Jesus was conceived, um, that Joseph was going to quietly divorce Mary because he knew it wasn't his child, right? But then the Lord appeared to him in a dream and said, no, don't divorce her. That the child to come was of the Lord. So back to the Jewish thing. So he goes away for roughly a period of about a year to build the addition to his father's house, where he will then bring his bride back to that place, and they will live together with his family. So the father says, right, it's time for you to go. You can go pick up your bride now. So what he then does is he goes out and he goes back to the bride's place, to the bride's home. And what's happening during this whole period is she has to be ready at all times for the imminent return of the bridegroom. And what that means is she's basically ready to go in her dress and whatever else. She's ready to go at all times. So at any time, she can be ready in a few minutes and she's ready to go back with the bridegroom. And of course, she has bridesmaids, where the parable also comes from, that look after her, and they also need to be ready. So what traditionally happens, is it's about a year afterwards that the bridegroom comes back, and the bridesmaids and the bridal party rush out to meet the bridegroom, and there are trumpets blown, and there are like celebration in the middle of the night normally. And then the bridegroom party comes to the bride's house, and the bride prepares herself, and she sits on this chair. Ready to go. And the people from the bridegroom's party come in and they lift her up. And the actual word that they use for lifting her up is to capture her away, which in Greek is harpazo. So if you know anything that sounds very similar to harpazo in 1 Thessalonians 4, yes, it's exactly the same word, harpazo, or rapture, to be caught up. So the bride is caught up and taken to the bridegroom, and then the bridegroom takes away the bride. She's carried away with the bridegroom back to his house. And then, whenever they arrive back at his house, they have a 7-day wedding feast. Once the feast has been declared, the doors are sealed, and you can't come in and join the feast or anything. You're there for the full 7 days. You're kind of committed to that time. Anyway, so that's the picture of us and Jesus and the Jewish wedding ceremony. Thanks very much.